Sawadee ka. Thank you for joining us on Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT Radio Thailand FM 88 and on NBT World. It's a Thursday and the date is June 25th, and you're with me, Sandra Hanutsaha. Welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. In our first story for today, the Prime Minister has called for an end to street talks about the suggested legalization of casino business in Thailand. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha said that the government has not made any decision related to the casino legalization proposal, and the public should not spend time talking about this issue anymore. General Prayut said that instead, everyone should now leave the idea to the researchers to study about the pros and cons of the legalization of gambling. He added that more time is needed before a study on this issue will draw any conclusion, while denying claims that an army general is behind a move to push for the legalization of casinos. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha asserted that the government was committed to promoting the capacity of small and medium enterprises and that SMEs were an important driving force in country development. He made the remarks while stating the government's SMEs-related policies to participants at a signing ceremony for a cooperation pact between the Office of Small and Medium Enterprises Promotion, or OSMEP, and 32 entities that comprised public and private agencies and financial institutes. The agreement sought to encourage collaboration in promoting SMEs' capacity through the use of the 7 comprehensive service centers for SMEs being established in Bangkok and at 6 special economic zones. General Prayut said relevant agencies have been assigned to implement measures for assisting SMEs, especially measures pertaining to infrastructure, financial support, and marketing. He indicated that the cooperation agreement will contribute positively to SMEs' all-around competitiveness. The Prime Minister also remarked that all business operators are asked to register in order for them to be put into categories, as this would make it easier for support to be given to them. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha presided over the cabinet meeting, which focused on the growing crisis of drought in many parts of the country. While stating the government's SMEs-related policies to participants at a signing ceremony for a cooperation pact between the Office of Small and Medium Enterprises Promotion. Reported during the meeting that the ministry's request for an additional budget of 84 million baht to assist drought-hit farmers has been approved. Part of the budget will be used to drill up to 500 extra groundwater wells to secure more water for farming. There are at present 380 existing wells. With the digging of the new wells, around 200 billion cubic meters of water can be supplied to farmers in need. The drilling is set to be completed in July. The Agriculture Ministry will meanwhile hold talks with the Bank for Agriculture and Agricultural Cooperatives, or BAAC, to ask for farmers' cooperation in delaying their off-season harvesting to encourage farmers to grow less water-reliant crops and to postpone farmers' debt payment during the drought period. Deputy Minister of Public Health Somsak Chunharat carried out an inspection on MERS screening and prevention measures at private hospitals in the Sukhumvit area of Bangkok. By Department of Health Service Support Director General Bunreung Traireng Warawat observed the use of thermal scanners at building entry points for the filtering of patients. Nurses were seen querying hospital visitors to collect information on the latter. Sterile rooms were prepared for use in diagnosing patients deemed to be at risk of MERS in accordance with the procedures prescribed by the Ministry of Public Health. The Deputy Public Health Minister disclosed that 4 Thais who had traveled to South Korea have been subjected to screening tests for MERS, and no infection was found. Dr. Somsak said private hospitals are being asked to provide information on the prevention of the spread of disease to all health personnel, as they were a group of individuals who could easily spread diseases that they have. Let's talk about the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, that is currently causing much of the world to panic. Should we be afraid of it, and what can we do? Kun Suchani Arungmanpon is going to tell us how to avoid getting the disease.
The Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, is a viral illness caused by a coronavirus. The virus has an effect on the lungs and breathing tube of those who contract the illness and can lead to the death of patients who develop severe acute respiratory illness. The first case of human-to-human MERS infection was identified in Saudi Arabia in September 2012. However, the virus spread by chance to South Korea, and not long ago, the patients are found also in Thailand. But how does it spread? Human infection of MERS is caused by having contact with the nasal excretions or the saliva of patients. The carrier hands, once infected, allow it to enter their own body after the touching of eyes, nose, and mouth. So far, unfortunately, there's no medical way to prevent the MERS infection. Doctors can only treat it by addressing the symptoms.
As yet, there is no vaccination against the disease. Only treatment of the symptoms, such as by using painkillers, resting, or using a saline solution, which may ease the condition. If the symptoms develop severely, for example, with the onset of pneumonia or respiratory failure, oxygen must be given through a respirator until the immune system grows stronger and the patient eventually recovers.
The virus is well established in vulnerable groups of patients, especially those with chronic diseases and the elderly. However, not every case of MERS results in death, because, as in some other illnesses, the virus can be eliminated by the patient's own natural immunity and appropriate care during its incubation period.
The incubation period of the disease is 2 to 14 days, but on average 7 days. However, severe infection might develop, depending on one's immune system. Mostly, the disease is at its worst after 7 days. After that, much depends on the normal state of health of the person. If the individual is strong, the symptoms are not too severe and do not lead to death.
So how to protect yourself from MERS infection? Firstly, avoid traveling to the areas most at risk. But if it's essential to do so, closely monitor your health after coming back for the following 14 days. If there's any coughing, please go to see the doctor immediately. Secondly, when traveling, avoid contact with suspect animals such as camels. Avoid drinking raw camel milk. Thirdly, avoid direct contact with MERS patients or anyone with a respiratory illness, and also take preventive measures such as covering the mouth and nose when sneezing, and always washing hands thoroughly. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands. And last but not least, taking care of your health is the key to survival, as it is confirmed that the virus leads to death only in infected patients with low natural immunity to illnesses. Suchani Rumanpon reporting.
Thank you to Kun Suchani for that very important report. And in other news, the Ministry of Energy has reiterated its need to raise excise duty on liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, shrugging off operators and users' calls for a rethink of its plan. Energy Minister Narongchai Akraseni said excise duty on LPG must increase to ensure fair treatment for all groups of energy consumers. He explained excise duty levied on LPG in the transport sector was as low as 1.1 baht, or 1 baht and 10 satang per liter, whereas petrol users had to pay as much as 4 to 5 baht per per an equal amount of fuel. According to Mr. Narongchai, the LPG duty excise will increase step by step. That of natural gas for vehicles, or NGV, will also be adjusted upwards when its retail price already reflects its real cost. The Election Commission, or EC, is compiling a list of eligible voters living overseas in a bid to prepare for a new round of elections in August of next year. Election Commissioner Somchai Sisutiakorn has held talks with related agencies concerning online overseas voter registration. The new registration system is expected to reduce the time and cost taken to register and to allow voters to easily check their names and history. It has been agreed that the list of voters needs to be updated in order to prevent ghost votes from being cast. Around 4 million baht of budget has been set aside to implement the new system, and it's expected to be ready for trial this November. The Public Relations Department, or PRD, along with related agencies, hosted a celebration for the 60-year anniversary of the first television broadcast in Thailand. The PRD's Director General, Aphinan Jantarangsi, presided over the 60th anniversary celebration for the broadcast of the Channel 4 Bangkhun Prom, the first TV station in Thailand, at the PRD Auditorium in cooperation with the Television Support Association and the Jamnong Rangsikun Foundation. The PRD Director General said that Thai television services have seen many changes since the first television broadcasting in 1955. He then stressed on the consumption of information, saying that the content should contain valuable information along with entertainment. The viewers, who are the receivers, should sort out the information they consume and choose beneficial information for themselves, the society, and the nation. We all know that it's important to consume fruit and vegetables in order to get the vitamins that are essential to our health. And now, more specifically, nutritionists are calling attention to the great benefits of the so-called queen of fruits, the mangosteen. NBT World reporter Banot Sap looked into this and found out some interesting details about this delicious fruit. And here is his report.
Mangosteens are plentiful in Thailand and other Southeast Asian countries, as they only grow in tropical climates where they thrive in the heat. The mangosteen is not entirely new to the West, though, as legend has it that almost 100 years ago, Queen Victoria of England offered a reward of 100 pounds sterling to anyone who could bring mangosteens for her to try. Some people feel that's why mangosteens are known today as the queen of fruits. But generally speaking, over the centuries, most people in the West were unaware of the mangosteen. However, recently, mangosteens have begun to attract much attention as people who are always seeking healthy new ways of eating have discovered it, and there is a growing number of beneficial products and medical applications that were derived from mangosteens. One interesting thing that people have discovered is that the skin of the mangosteen, which is unedible, nevertheless contains many health benefits.
The main ingredient or the substance in the mangosteen that has a medicinal benefits is called xanthone. So xanthone is actually abundant in the peel. But when I say abundance, it doesn't mean that it has a whole lot. The whole one fruit, the peel may contain only 1 millionth of gram. It means that you have a tiny fraction in it. Basically, in order to get the health benefit, you have to take maybe 1 kilo a day in order to get some benefit of it. So basically, when we do extract the xanthone, we have to extract from, in order to get 1 kilo, we have to extract at least from 400 to 500 dry peel, okay, dry peel. Okay, so in order to get 1 kilo, it is a very good antioxidant substance. It is a very good anti-inflammatory substance. It can suppress the inflammation, and also it can kill many kind of bacteria, including virus and some viruses and some fungi. So basically, if you use with the wound, for example, it can enhance the healing so much faster. That's why, you know, based on that benefits, I further develop into many kind of, you know, products in order to grab the, you know, the benefits of those into, you know, real life products.
The product has been tested on over 200 patients in 10 hospitals and has shown great healing ability. Scientists also project that applying Santoon to surgical masks used in hospitals can help prevent the spread of the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, but no research has been done to prove this hypothesis yet. Based on the great health benefits that have been discovered in mangosteens, there is now further research being undertaken to integrate other herbal plants to create greater benefits. But even if you aren't so concerned with health benefits now, it's the mangosteen season now in Thailand, and they certainly are tasty, and we are lucky that we have access to plenty of this delicious healthy fruit, since it can be rare and expensive in many parts of the world. So enjoy the healthiness and the taste of this delectable fruit. For NBT World, I'm Panosi Sinsap.
Maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The 8th core value: maintaining discipline and respectfulness of the law and the elderly.
Even if we don't see them, they are amongst us. And they're hungry. Slay your power-sucking monsters. Take their power away. Think when you plug.
Swadee krab, this is Thailand at large.
The show which is about to take you to the new experiences with the exciting stories.
With charming fascination. With a touch of Thainess.
Let's join us on NBT World.
Explore with us and you'll know and love Thailand even more than before.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Health agencies in the northern province of Chiang Rai have co-organized the first ever disaster rescue rally of Southeast Asia. The Gathering International Disaster Medical Rally, which kicked off at Chiang Rai Ratchapat University, was joined by disaster rescue teams from 10 ASEAN countries, including Thailand. All the disaster rescue teams exercised their skills and experience dealing with a number of mock emergency cases, such as building collapse, a chemical leakage, and flooding. Rather than promoting a competitive ambiance, the rally aims to enable rescue workers from different countries to meet and share their expertise and strengths in terms of life-saving operations. The organizers hope that the event will help participating personnel in the ASEAN region to adapt techniques from their foreign counterparts to improve their abilities, thus bolstering the region's cooperation and capabilities to cope with different forms of disaster. And now on to our world news. Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev on Wednesday apologized for the deadly 2013 attack at a hearing, and a U.S. judge formally sentenced him to death for killing 4 people and injuring 264 in the bombing and its aftermath. It was the first time that Tsarnaev, who did not speak in his own defense during his trial, had addressed the court. Tsarnaev had been found guilty of killing 3 people and injuring 264 in the bombing near the finish line of the world-renowned race, as well as fatally shooting a police officer 3 days later. The same federal jury that convicted him in April voted for the death penalty in May. The bombing was one of the highest-profile attacks on U.S. soil since September 11th of 2001. Mexico's Supreme Court on June 3rd ruled it is unconstitutional for Mexican states to deny same-sex marriages. The ruling, which was recently published in the Judicial Weekly of the Federation, states that trying to link marriage requirements with the sexual preferences of those who can enter the institution of marriage to procreation is discriminatory, because this unjustifiably excludes access to marriage for gay couples who are similarly situated to heterosexual couples. The law also states that such a distinction, quote unquote, is discriminatory because sexual preferences are not an important aspect to make the distinction in relation to the constitutional end quote, meaning the court deems such a distinction to be unconstitutional. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. If you have any comments or suggestions, then do feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook by simply typing in NNT. And do check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/newsing. Today, we leave you with some videos posted to social media websites showing the northern lights shining over Minnesota skies and in space. Have a great day. I'm Sandra Hanu Sahat for Newsline. Sawadee ka.